right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. So nice to have you here. In a fasting space. Fasting space, to me, physiologically in the body, a fasting space. Such an incredible gift to the body. Especially if you're on a weight loss path, you're trying to give space to the body to bring things back into balance. So here we get to come together. We've got a show to practice it, right? Today you're going to be talking about practicing weight loss. I always refer to fasting as a practice. Fasting is something that you do. Fasting is something that you experience in the body, just like any weight loss practice. It's something that you can get in a groove in, something that you have a routine. People are very familiar. You say, oh, I've got an exercise routine. I've got an exercise practice. Or I'm following some kind of diet, means I eat like a certain way, a certain foods. It's not like I go on a diet, I just have one meal. No, it's like, this is like a pattern that we get in. So we practice these things. So fasting can be just like that. It's a practice. It's something that you can make a part of your life and experience. And the thing that's great about a practice just recognizes the reality. You don't have to be perfect, right? I always like to say, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. And we can even take that further and we can say, don't let good keep you from starting, don't let good, say, hey, I'm not even good at this, Hey, that's a practice. Anytime we start something out, you can't be a master at the beginning, right? Fasting and weight loss in general, I refer to as like a journey, right? This is like a journey that ideally, I guess, would be like a lifetime, right? Health is our life, right? So a lifetime, a journey. I think a lot of times in a weight loss space, we get, very short-term focused, and that can be okay in a season. It can be okay to bring intentional intensity to a time and say, hey, I'm really going to dial in on this. Value there. Also value to dial back and realize, hey, this is something that I'm trying to set myself up for like a lifetime of health. And what happens over the next week is all going to be okay. And then taking that big view, bringing it down just to this one day, living in the present, saying, hey, we've offloaded all that pressure about the future. We don't have to be perfect. We can just practice. Today is a practice. I'm practicing right now. If you're in a fasting space right now, you got up, or whenever you're watching this, you haven't eaten, grab a calorie-free beverage, dial in on some fasting space, center the thoughts in a positive space. Gonna really just help you win this day. We win today first, and then tomorrow we can worry about winning that day. And that's how we step forward, one step at a time, toward our goal. Practice can take down the intensity, practice taking down the pressure. Thinking a lot of times, because we are controlling our life, right? So there's this, I think, psychological principle called the spotlight effect, right? We feel like the spotlight is on us, like, oh, everybody is watching or judging, and we can be self-conscious, right? So we always want to care, oh, what is someone else thinking? A certain amount of that healthy, but not to the extent that it, stresses us out, because the spotlight effect basically just says, in general, most people don't really care. And you say, oh, I want people to care, and people care, but people don't care about all the details of our life that we care about, They don't know, in general. Oh, what are we struggling with? What is that? So there's another way to take the pressure off, to say, hey, look, Everything's okay here. There's no pressure. I'm not performing for anyone, right? Just time to practice. Take the steps on my path. Not going to worry what does someone else say. Hey, this is my time to practice. I'm just working on something here. If it doesn't work out, that's how you can have grace with yourselves, right? Because it's difficult. Look at the society, right? If it was easy, everybody just be having great success, easy to do. We talked about that this week on the other session. Illusion of easy. People think things are easy, but then not so much. Especially if they're not really taking us in the right direction. If we're trying to walk on a path to Minneapolis, but like we're on the path to Chicago, and they say, I'm just strolling along. It's like easy, but we're going in the wrong direction, right? So we say, oh, this is a practice. This is a practice of awareness to recognize, I don't think this easy path that I'm on, like I'm not struggling here, but am I really going in the right direction, right? So there's a practice of awareness. Just practice. Say, hey, do I turn around? It's very hard in our society. We don't have a culture. It's like, say, oh, turn around. Say, I'm like backtracking. But like if we're not going in the right direction, we practice, say, hey, it's okay just to stop. Okay just to have a space. Maybe we're going nowhere for a little while. And you say, well, going nowhere is not taking me toward my goal. But look, if we were walking away from where we're trying to get, like to just stop for a little bit and reassess is much better than walking further away, right? So you say, there's a whole interesting space where you say doing nothing, actually doing something, stopping a process of walking further away. That's like real action. That's that quote I love, preservation is progress, right? Love that. So just a practice of awareness. Say, hey, where are we at in the journey? And what does the routine look like? Let's look at some of these other things. So we took a number of steps this week. We started the week in here, 66 days. And I read that essay, This is the Life. And now we're down to 62 days today, stepping toward the new year. The best things in life are free. I love that. Maybe this is part of a reflection. It's just, have you been following along? Go back and review these things to say, oh, these are the sorts of things. Illusion of easy, we did that. Where are things where I'm being kind of tricked into thinking, oh, this is the easy path, but it's not really taking me in the direction. And then yesterday we did this thoughts on normal and what is normal, and say the normal way to lose weight. Meaning, can we create it in our life, our experience, where we say, hey, this is normal. Normal to be on a path toward getting healthier, right? And then we shape the environment around us. That's what we've been doing with Thinking Fast and Slow book, trying to program and prime our cognitive experience so that we can flow through it as easily as possible. And then the other side of it, our more creative book, generating the awareness, the practices that help us realize if we're flowing in the wrong direction, just to say, hey, let's like really open our mind to a different way of being. Try to help ourselves be more thoughtful, greater awareness. And then that can help us use the context, the environment around us to help propel us forward. That was last week, clues to the weight loss puzzle, right? That you say whether it's a coincidence or whether it's some broader process, we can derive inspiration and encouragement from the environment that we find ourselves in. And we can use that to propel us forward on our path. Kind of a fun way to move through the day. Say, what are the puzzle pieces? What are the clues that are helping me in this space? Maybe it's just something as simple as, like we've said, is just moving the furniture, right? Just getting a different perspective. A lot of what we're doing between the two books that I chose that we're diving through is helping us walk down this path is to recognize the cognitive barriers that make it difficult to change. Anytime we change something, we have like the deck is stacked against us, right? To try to do that. And so a practice of any kind, really, you can think about it as like a practice to change, a practice to be different, a practice to try to strive to be better at something. You're practicing a sport, you're practicing writing. It's like, we have a current state of how things are, and we are aspiring to something being better. And so we work at it. We apply ourselves, we apply our intention, all of our knowledge and skill, we bear it on a task. That's the practice. So practicing weight loss, say we have a goal. We say, hey, I have a certain energy state in the body. That's what a weight situation is. It's an energy state in the body. Body has stored energy for us, like a gift. And I tell you, in a different era, it's totally a gift, right? If we step back just a little bit out of the modern era, no problem at all. If you have some extra energy, that is going to help you out because the body is just trying to keep us alive. This is how the body's designed. Body is not designed to maximize our 30-year cardiovascular risk. This is a totally modern concept. And it's great. I mean, it is great. It's an incredible luxury that we have the ability to think about something like that. Body much more pragmatic in the short term. Body says, how are we going to keep this show on the road for the next month, basically? How are we going to make it through if, disaster strikes, if the famine hits, if the winter is brutal and cold and the food runs out, right? Body very happy to store that for us. So having a practice of weight loss is a practice of really generating awareness of the body, right? How many times do we think of weight loss and we don't even really think of the body, right? We think about everything else. We think of the South Beach diet. We think of the other book, we think of all the things and we think of all these external things. Fasting is showing us a different practice, a different path. It's saying, hey, let's look inside here. Let's just focus on the body. Body's what ultimately loses weight. Body controls the weight. The weight is the body. It's us, right? And so a fasting practice is everything else is gone, There's nothing there except what is here inside us. Incredibly powerful state. So we want to practice leaning into that. See how that's totally different than the average sort of weight loss practice, all of which can be good. Looking externally, I'm going to look to this practice. I'm going to look to this food. I'm going to look to these things. Okay, fasting giving us an opportunity to reflect inward. What is the current state of the body? Why is it the way it is? And how do I practice a day where I'm working with that, Fasting, saying, hey, I don't need any of this right now. I'm going to choose voluntarily to open up some space. Let the body work. Right? Body has saved energy within us for a purpose. Let's practice that. Let's use that energy. Give the body the opportunity to kind of run that system. You do that. You open up some extra space. We're doing it right now. We're practicing it. Body says, hey, you know what? We've got energy here. We can do this. Maybe this is the time. It's fire up these systems. And it'll do it. You say, okay, the first times I try to do it, this is where the barrier is for most people. Most people pushed into a space without food unintentionally. They got super busy. They got stuck somewhere. There's something went wrong, right? Not a fasting, in my view. Fasting, very intentional, completely intentional, voluntary, and planned for so that you can create the environment that makes it as easy as possible to experience it in a positive way. It's how we build the practice. You want to practice something, you're trying to make it as easy as possible. You practice the violin, very difficult to learn to do. You can't sit down with a violin and just play it, you got to really open up some space with it, to learn. You have to be in tune, right? You got to be in tune to it. Are we in tune with our body? Say weight loss is difficult, like in general, right? And so we say we want to practice, like learning to play the violin is difficult. Got to tune in. Got to tune in. How is the body working? What is it doing? What does it need? What are the real purposes, of all of these things? And then how do we give the space to play that music, right? That's the creative aspect. And I'm going to help us dive in with another passage from this book that I love so much. Creative act, a way of being. How do we get that type of music flowing out in tune with the body and what it needs and what really promotes health and vitality? At least in our metabolic health. Very hard to consume our way to health. We need a certain amounts of food, right? We need nutrients, we need fiber. Absolutely, we do need all this. But also health is inside. This is the balance. We look inside and we find that the body has incredible resources of healing and rejuvenation. Who knew? Oh man. Autophagy, I think autophagy, the most underappreciated, certainly function of the human body. People go their whole lives, they don't know they have autophagy systems. They don't know that there are cellular cleansing and recycling systems that they can activate by just taking a break from eating for a while, and that the body flips into a different metabolic mode where it's let's get rid of all the toxins. Let's chew up all the dysfunctional crap that's accumulating in our cells, and let's cleanse and refine and revitalize the system. How incredible is that? I just don't know if we could talk about it enough. And people don't even know. Just the basic function of the body. It's like a miracle. It's like little miracles built into every cell in the body. To me, that's very exciting. We should practice using that. Practice using that. And then I think it's the most underappreciated concept in the medical system. We have a whole multi-trillion-dollar medical system not teaching people about autophagy. Shouldn't we be teaching that? Shouldn't that be part of our primary care visits? I think. In a society that is just completely overwhelmed in metabolic dysfunction, shouldn't we be helping people use the practices that can unwind that? I think we should. I really do. I really, really do. Just practice it. You don't have to stress yourself out. All right, I'm going to help you really get into the zone today on practicing it. How do you practice? What does it look like? Listen to Rick Rubin teach us about practicing. And remember the vibe if you're new to it. You are an artist. You are a creator. You are creating your life, your weight loss experience. So I'm going to break out of the mold, right? This is an artist trying to create something new that's never existed. It's there's never been the version of you that's going to be sitting there on January 1st who's saying, this is something new, right? I'm having a new experience. I'm moving in an incredible direction. Look at what we have made. In the wild, animals must narrow their field of vision to survive. A tight focus prevents distraction from critical needs: food, shelter, predators, procreation. For the artist, this reflexive action can be a hindrance, widening one's scope, allows for more moments of interest to be noticed and collected, building up a treasury of material to draw from later. This is what we were kind of talking about in the other session, finding the clues, right? Realizing that the experiences that we have are the source material that we draw from to make decisions. The experiences condition our experience. We were talking about that just yesterday with what we see as normal, right? So we have these experiences and they shape us, right? We're not always aware. Sometimes like we get in a certain groove in the short term, even within our own life, right? Can we step back and just realize the breadth of experience that we've had to draw from? We are on a path. That path might be a little bit of a winding path. We have to find our way. We don't realize, okay, we have so much experience that can help us in our practice of stepping in the direction that we want to go. A little different path. A practice is the embodiment of an approach to a concept. I love that. So if we're going to dial in and think about practicing, what is a practice, all right? Just take it with what we're trying to do, fasting for weight loss, right? As a concept, right? A practice is embodying it. Not just having a concept floating out there. Then we have an approach. I'm trying to give you an approach to fasting. Very thoughtful, gentle, dialed in just in the amount that you need or desire. The practice is embodying it, meaning putting it in your body. I love it. So practicing it, just think of that. How do you internalize it? A practice is the embodiment of an approach to a concept. Be the fasting process, right? Be it is how you actualize it. This can support us in bringing about a desired state of mind. State of mind, of course, is what we're really trying to get to. A positive, open state of mind. When we repeat the exercise of opening our senses to what is, we move closer to living in a continually open state. We build a habit, one where the expanded awareness is our default way of being in the world. Building the habit, this is what I'm talking about, right? This is the practice. A practice is embodying it. It becomes a habit. It becomes what we do. And what we do, right? The way we are living your life, this is the way of being. Really, if we're trying to get ourselves on a weight loss path, right? And we're trying to walk down it step by step, day by day, as a practice, as a routine, it becomes our way of being in the world. Being in the world, we are in the world, we've been in the world, we're going to be in the world for some period of time. How are we being while we're here? We say we want things to change, we want things to be differently, we have to be differently in order to be the change, right? That Gandhi quote, right? Be the change you want to see in the world. Maybe the change that you want to see really is like with yourself. You say, I want to be different. I want a different version of me 2 months from now. You have to be it. Adopt a new way of being. You can do it. You can. We walk through it together. To deepen the practice is to embark on a more profound relationship with Source. We reduce the interference of our filter. Remember that session, go back and watch it, the vessel and the filter, right? We become better able to recognize the rhythms and movements around us, the clues that are there to help us. This allows us to participate with them in a more harmonious way. When we take notice of the cycles of the planet and choose to live in accordance with its seasons, something remarkable happens. We become connected. Doesn't that just sound good? Getting connected. Connect with each other, with nature. I did a video the other day, lose weight by aligning with the season. I went out in the woods with the camera, just talked about the changing of the leaves and the trees. Seasons. Oh, here this is out my back door this morning before I came in. This is beautiful light coming in on the tree, lighting up the leaves. Trees, in the fall, it's so easy to see, like we're going through this process, right? The seasons are changing. Nature is a continuous cycle of change. Nature always changing, but in a cycle. It's bringing everything back into balance. Nature doesn't resist change. It uses change to keep things in balance, in a cycle. Can we live in accordance with the seasons? Can we bring things into alignment? Look what's happening in the fall. We're heading in toward the winter, right? Winter is this lean season. To me, winter is like fasting for trees, The leaves are gone, no energy coming in. They're kind of sleeping, just like our cycle. Overnight, we go to bed, we sleep, we're resting, like the tree is resting. Okay, so like fall season, it's like getting ready for this, The trees going through that cycle, and then they'll make it into the spring. A lot of the problems we have in our society, right? We're not aligned with natural cycles. We've created our own human cycle, which is the industrial system, is just never-ending growth and consumption, okay? It's just a one-way track. It's like we step back, we look at nature, we say, look at a tree, right? Look at how it cycles. We bring a cycle like that, we start mirroring a cycle like that. We feel more connected, right, to nature. We are nature, we're natural. We got this idea going on in our society that we're somehow not a part of this gigantic, beautiful earth. We begin to see ourselves as part of a greater whole that is constantly regenerating itself. That is a very encouraging sentence to me. Like sometimes it can be, I think, for myself personally, a little discouraging. You look at the modern, world. There's so many problems. You say, "Oh my gosh!" Like people being so hard on the earth, And we don't have to talk about any controversial, thing about how much CO2 or whatever. People like just, even try to talk about these things. People get so angry. Like just look at the plastic, right? In the ocean, All of the chemicals. Watched a documentary the other day that was on phthalates and all the phthalate levels. I mean, it's just crazy. But the earth is rejuvenating itself, regenerating itself. The earth is alive, and I gotta tell you, it is, and however you see it, we're like the little cells out of the trillion of this whole planet that is just alive. And we look at autophagy, right? We look at autophagy. Within the body, this is like a little mirror, our body like a mirror of the whole world. We have an autophagy space. We have ability in our body to cleanse and renew and rejuvenate. The earth can do this. And this has been making me feel optimistic to read that. You know what? If we change ourselves, We can have a different relationship also with the earth, where we treat it more kindly and respectfully, so that the incredible beauty of it can persist for 1,000 generations. That's what I want. We see ourselves as part of a greater whole. We're not alone, okay? The modern world, right? It can feel so isolating. We can feel alone, like, is anybody else dealing with this? Like, no, we are connected. There is strength available to us. And we tap in to the all-powerful propagating force and ride its creative wave. I love that. I do love that. I believe that. I do believe it. I don't know the true, of course, nature of reality. Someone, would say, I don't believe that. I've said that before. So, I welcome, you don't have to believe anything like that there is a powerful force in nature and the universe. You say, I'm a strict materialist. All that exists is atoms and molecules, and you're just telling yourself a story about it. Like, it doesn't bother me. Like, what if you just lived as if it were true? Would you have more fun? Would it help you, encourage you on your path? I think it could. I'll tell you for my part, though, I believe that it's true. And can we align ourselves with that type of thought? Gaining access to power outside of ourselves that can help us. Like, do you believe that whatever your view of reality is, that the universe, whatever you call it, God, the universe, like some Star Wars, like invisible force, like, is it good? Is there goodness that cares about you? I think so. And can that help you and give you encouragement on your path? I hope so. Rick Rubin thinks so. To support our practice, we might set up a daily schedule. Great idea, love it, where we engage in a particular ritual at specific times every day or week. Maybe for you, that's the fasting practice. Say, hey, I get in a regular space where I'm just giving my body this space to bring things back into balance. The gestures we perform don't need to be grand. Small rituals can make a big difference. We can decide to take 3 slow, deep breaths upon awakening each morning. We can take 3 slow, deep breaths together right now. Why don't we do it? Here we go. Three big, slow, deep breaths. I'm feeling better doing that. Whoa, slow down. Center yourself. That big, deep breath, that's sending the parasympathetic outflow to the body. Telling the body, hey, everything's okay here. No need to stress. Maybe you really are stressed. Maybe you're in a very difficult and stressful situation. Say, hey, still take those breaths. Take just a brief moment before you got to do whatever you got to do. Send that parasympathetic signal, right? Bring the intensity of that hormonal state. The adrenaline is flowing, right? The cortisol flowing. Like, just bring all that down. Center yourself through the storm, right? It's a way of being. This simple act can set a course to start each day in a still and centered and in the moment. That's what we're trying to do, right? Just win this day, right? Take this step. This day is the only day we can take this step. And we're taking it, right? We are taking this step as thoughtfully as we can. I love where he goes here. We might also eat our meals mindfully. 100%, right? This is the super practice, mindfulness practice of eating. Do you practice mindfulness when you're eating? How do you do it? And what does that look like? Mindful eating can be so helpful. Mindful eating to me is using all of our senses when we're eating. You can lose weight just practicing mindfulness. Absolutely. You should be doing it anytime you're eating. Looks like we're looking at the food, right? All the distractions are gone. Phone is put away. TV's off. It's like we just have everything else is gone. What exists is like you and the food. We're looking at it. We're finding gratitude for it. Like we're emotionally connected to it. This is how we enjoy it, right? Looking at the food, that's sending signals into the brain. Like food is here. We're just priming this system. We're smelling it. We're tasting it. We're feeling it, right? Feeling it coming in, becoming a part of us, right? Like if you're going to eat so intensely, right? To have that much awareness of it, I mean, you're going to want to eat something good. Like, this is like a super practice to say, hey, if I am in a this is how we build a relationship, a healthy relationship with food, right? Man, this is like becoming part of me. Like when we really slow down, you're going to want to put something healthy into your body, right? And when we really spend that much time with it, hearing the sound or chewing it up, like the swallowing, right? Just all of our senses, our whole experience, a part of the mindfulness, right? That's how it's supposed to be in general. We're not supposed to be distracted by all of this because in studies, when they study people doing this, this influences the production of satiety hormones, right? Our leptin-ghrelin system, that is controlling how we are feeling. Like when do we feel full? People who are practicing mindfulness eat less. And you can be asking yourself questions while you're doing it. Like most people or many people are a person who's kind of on autopilot watching Netflix while they're just eating food. Okay, the food is just coming in. We're not aware. Okay. You're like missing all these signals that the body uses to say, hey, that's enough, right? So to say, hey, there's balance here. You can ask yourself the question. Most people eat to the point where you say, like, hey, I'm totally full. I can't fit any more in here. Like, I gotta stop, right? That would be like the end of the line. Okay, if you're being ultra mindful, you can ask a better question, which would be like, if I didn't eat anymore, would I be okay? That is a much more thoughtful place. When people study those decisions, when people being super mindful, people eat about 20% less. And they're happy about it. This is the thing. It's not a struggle. Like in the studies, people be super mindful, eat all you want, but just be super mindful about it. People rate themselves as satisfied with about 20% less. Like, make a huge difference. Huge. All right, that's what he's saying here. Slowly savor each bite with appreciation and finding gratitude for it. Realize what it means, energy coming in here to serve me, power my life. So much gratitude for it. Then he says, take a walk in nature. Look at everything entering your vision with gratitude and connection. Take a moment to marvel at the feeling of our own heartbeat and the movement of blood through our veins before we go to sleep. What a gift. The purpose of such exercises is not necessarily in the doing, just as the goal of meditation isn't in the meditating. The purpose is to evolve the way we see the world when we're not engaged in those actions. We're building the musculature of our psyche to more acutely tune in. This is so much of what the work is about. Absolutely, right? That's the real work. It's the mental work. The practice is a mental practice. This is why I like fasting so much. I've said it's right, this intersection between the physical and the mental. It's a mental practice, creating mental space. It's a physical practice in the body. We need to build our mental strength in order to help us walk the path of bringing that physical strength and health into the body. Fasting right at that intersection. Awareness needs constant refreshing. If it becomes a habit, even a good one, it will need to be reinvented again, until one day you notice that you are always in a practice of awareness at all times, in all places, living your life in a state of constant openness to receiving. Holy cow, what a vision that is. I, for one, would say that I'm still on the road to that, right? Still on the road, long road to build these practices in a way that really helps us each day to take that step. I hope these are encouraging words on your practice. I hope that it gives you a space where you can take the pressure down, even have fun with it, have fun with the practice, realizing, hey, you know what? I am heading in a great direction. I'm getting my mindset dialed in. I'm not going to stress myself out. I'm going to use these practices as a way to reduce my stress. Realize we can take one step in this day. This is the practice. Saying, hey, I'm going to live in this moment. I can't do everything. Like, we got a big task, right? We're trying to lose weight. We're trying to find a sustainable practice for a lifetime of health. We can't do that all at once. We just have the opportunity in this one beautiful day that we have right now to move toward it. So let's do it. We're off to a great start. And have a great weekend. I will see you back here next week, and we will keep our ongoing step toward better health together. Be well, everybody.